to Four Collectors.
Welcome, collectors. Welcome to the Four Collectors Sunday live stream. It is your host for this night is yours truly, Sammy Thunder. I'm joined by Mike from Junk Wax Hero, my fellow co-host Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, another member of Four Collectors, and lastly Jake from Wax Pack Wisdom. Unfortunately, Adam from Splendid Sports could not make it tonight, and also Shane from Shoebox Legends could not make it as well, but we will definitely have them on again in the future for sure. But tonight's conversation is going to circulate around the Shriners show and the recap and just talking about it and some pickups and just a lot of camaraderie. So thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight.
You got it. Thanks for having me, Sammy. Thanks for having all of us.
Yeah, man. I think it was the one thing that I took away from this weekend was everyone seemed to be in really high spirits, and I know everybody came away with a really nice pickup for themselves. So that was really awesome. I know, and you guys will surely do a video, or if you haven't done a video yet on your pickups, but yeah, I know everybody came away with some really cool stuff, and even those that are not joining tonight, also like Keith from Lonely Basement came away with an awesome card, which I'm sure he'll show. But yeah, what's your I guess just jump right into it. Like, what was some of the key takeaways for you guys? Since I know this is not all of you have been to Shriners multiple times at this point.
I think that maybe so. Like this for the fall one, this was the third one that I've been to. Dan, I think this is your second one, right? So I think Mike is the veteran. I think he's been to more than us. I mean, for me, as somebody that I live close by and I go to shows locally a lot, this is the Super Bowl of card shows in specifically Massachusetts, but really New England in general. And it's where everybody kind of comes together. That is like local dealers, local collectors, and people that are involved in the hobby. And then obviously there are guys like Sammy, Dan, yourself that come in from outside of New England and national dealers. It's kind of where everybody comes together and congregates. And for me, the most special thing about this weekend was getting to spend time with you guys that I don't get to see very often, but also because like, it's funny, like 2023, the first one I went to, the only person in the hobby that was at Shriners that I really knew was Paul Borges, and that was because I had met him at a show a couple months before that. And now I can't sort of walk down the aisle without seeing people that I know, whether it's dealers, other collectors, other YouTubers, people that come in and stop and have conversations with them, and it's incredibly special. So that's my favorite thing about it is it's, as always with the hobby, it's the people. And we had, I think everybody had a great time when we got together for our sort of lunch thing yesterday. And I have because I'm looking at like my pickups, and I did have a few pickups, but I have so many more gifts, like just individual gifts that I got. Was like, I don't even have enough space on my desk for all of them. And that's the amazing thing about this hobby, and that's the best thing about Shriners to me.
So take some credit yourself, Jake, because I called you on my video that's not going to be put online because it came out wrong and I have to redo it. I called you the MVP of the weekend.
Wow.
And that's because not only did you walk the floor and hang out with everyone and meet with everyone, and you also gave gifts. And I want to start with this. That's Mike. Yeah, we got
I'm switching.
Johnny Lujack won 3 national championships at Notre Dame, and he was the Heisman Trophy winner. And this is a card from the 1948 Leaf set. Yes, 1948, because football was introduced in 48 and baseball in 49. Jake gave me this card because I made a reference to needing this because of the Notre Dame connection. And he took it out of his own collection and gave it to me. He literally handed this to me from his own collection. And to me, that's like the most special gift you can give. You know, you can buy something off of eBay. You can pull something out of your collection that maybe you don't love, but this was part of one of his videos. And to me, that's the weekend in one fell swoop. Is a great guy who gives a gift, a thoughtful gift, and who put together, I think, somebody made reference to it. I think, Sammy, you said, everybody's in a great mood. That was such good that get together, because I felt like everybody had a good show. Everybody's happy to see each other. We're all eating, drinking, having fun. And I got to talk to guys that, I'd like to talk to more. And it was just a 100% positivity. And 100% positivity. And I feel like it was the highlight of the weekend was the 2:00 lunch. And, I got some good cards and we'll show them later. But for me, the weekend was the people, and that lunch was terrific. And Jake, you were the one who put it together. You and Abby are the MVPs of the weekend. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I also want to say that Mike came very close to breaking the record at the basketball the little basketball game. I think it was like 81. You got like 67 or
68. Yeah,
points.
Well, first of all, my takeaway is that Sammy has game. Sammy was focused on shooting, and his form is immaculate. And if we were to play a game of 3-on-3, Sammy and I could take any 5 guys. Just 2 of us, no problem. My goal in that game, because I've done Papa Shot a lot, is to just break the record. And so you have to get rid of your form, and you just got to go boom, 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 shoot them as fast as possible. And I'm convinced if I had 10 tries, I could have broken the record. That was my goal, but I didn't have enough money. I am catching significant strays in the comments.
Where am I missing? Am I missing something?
Well, you've put a couple of them up. One was from Theo. One was from
some
guy named Midlife. I don't know
who's that. I don't know who that
Mid
is.
something. Never heard of him.
Mid something. Yeah. And now Theo is asking, can Mike tell us why he didn't like Shriners? I love Shriners. It is the best card show in the Northeast. All I said was it felt like there were more dealers who were higher priced than they should be. And part of the problem, and I wrote about this, and I'm not going to say it because then Theo will give me crap for this too. But part of the problem for me is that my collection is so refined at this point that I'm looking for fewer cards, and the cards I'm looking for have to be in the right condition for me. And I've gotten pretty selective, but the people at the card show are amazing. You guys, mostly Sammy and Jake, are awesome to see.
Told you. I warned you, Sammy. I told you.
Man. Yeah, listen, I'm going to sit back and get some popcorn. Anybody want some?
Game on.
And Jake, Dan said it well. Jake and Abby set up the perfect location. Like, you go into these things and you think, how is this going to be with all these people? But there were couches and chairs, and then the tables if you wanted to sit up there, and the food was great, and there was a Papa Shot.
Oh, yeah, that was the best.
I have to. So he's in the comments right now. Is Brian Kane, who was at the event at Yankee Kane. Brian, because there was a different restaurant that we were thinking about booking to do this, and it was going to be just kind of like your regular run of the mill sort of American bar and grill type restaurant. And Abby and I have been there before, and it's a good spot. But right. We'll get to that in a second. But Brian kind of had thrown out this brew pub down the street from Shriners, and I didn't even really realize that they had this like lounge area. It was like a place where you could kind of sit and like little couches and then a table and then the arcade stuff in the other room. It was perfect. So we do it again. We're definitely going to do it there. It was kind of, so Brian, shout out for that. But anyway, we had kind of a joking thing yesterday about Mike's friend Oliver and how he's the Bob Sacamano of the hobby that he's referred to a lot in Mike's videos, but I feel like every time you do a Shriners video, you do like the thing in the car, like so you do see him. And I had met Oliver before, probably in passing, like last year. But that was a great joke.
I've also had him on live streams in the past. I did a video with him and Adam one time talking about Larry. It was the Larry Bird the Larry live stream.
Well, he sort of looks like Larry Bird.
He's a spitting image.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna
And
say?
by the way, sorry,
Yeah.
Sammy, but
No, go ahead.
Oliver would outshoot both of us at
I
basketball.
was waiting for him to jump in the game. He was like, "No, I don't want to do that." I'm like,
I don't know why he didn't. Oliver and I played in a basketball league together for 7 years. We never were on the same team, and he's a very good shooter.
yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. Because I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, why don't you go up?" It was like five. There's like 5 credits worth. You can at least take one of them.
Yeah.
So, oh well. But yeah, Oliver. He didn't go to the national the last couple of years, did he? I for some reason I
He's
remember.
never been.
No, never.
He wants to go. His kids are both now in college,
Okay.
and so he wants to go maybe next year.
Yeah. So because that was I guess that was the second time that I met him because he was there at Shriners last year, right? Briefly.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
We were there for like 2 hours last year. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man. So going back to what you're saying, Mike, I mean, about dealers kind of like pricing their cards really, really high. I mean, I guess that is a consensus, not just for that show, but I mean, a lot of people share that same sort of sentiment about practically every show that people go to. But is there a difference with this one that you saw that was distinctive?
Well, usually at Shriners or really any show, I can usually find a handful of dealers that have their cards reasonably priced.
Mm.
And ultimately I did. It just took me a while. They weren't around the perimeter. The perimeter tables, aside from Paul Borges of PB Collectibles, are just outrageously priced. And so normally I don't do around the perimeter first. And I think that might have been my problem was I did that initially. And then, of course, you've got Matt from Providence, who I did buy a card off of, had great prices. But I was there for 2.5 hours or so, and I couldn't find anything to buy for the first 2 hours. And Sammy ran into me, and he stopped and talked. I was like, I've got 30 minutes to buy stuff. I've got 30 minutes to spend my money. I got to go.
I didn't realize it was that short. My bad, man.
No, it was okay. It's
I did the same thing, Sam. Don't worry about it. It's a Mike problem. It's not a you problem.
Yeah, I was waiting for Mike telling me like, it was like, just leave me alone. And I'm like, okay. you did mention we were talking about being left alone, but it was in a different context. So, man, I didn't realize that. But speaking of which, if you want to, do you want to show what you picked up, or do you want to wait for another time? Wait for your video.
Oh, I don't mind showing it right now. Because
you made, I don't know how many pickups you ended up making. Was it just that one, or
3 in like a 15 or 20 minute span?
Cool, man. Let me give you the window. Hold on a second. Don't. There you go.
There we go.
Takes me a second to
Very
switch.
Nice. Very nice.
That's the big one. 59 top.
Lift it up a little bit. There you go. Just want to get the glare off the bottom.
There,
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
That's a stunning 3.
Yeah.
And I got it at a good price. The guy, we looked up comps together, and there was a recent comp at like 541 at auction, and it was way off center for a 3. And he was like, I'd do 6 flat, which made perfect sense. And I said, I'd do 580. And he said, we kind of haggled a little bit over that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you can go flip it, no problem. And I said, I don't flip, I'm just a collector. He said, okay, sold. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. What was do you remember the dealer that you bought it from?
You know what? Dan got so mad at me when I said I don't remember who the dealer was. I really liked him. I should have asked him who it was, what his name was, but I didn't.
Where was he?
He was in the middle. He was in the middle. I would say he's 50-ish years old.
Doesn't narrow it down much, but
he was overweight.
Was he a man?
No, I'm just kidding.
Was it a man with speaking English?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Where was he? Let's get a geographic
receding hairline.
Was he? He was in the Northeast, Boston guy.
Let's get even more specific. Where in the room was he?
He was in the middle.
In the middle.
In the second row.
Second row in the middle.
From the front. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like
more than that?
I assume that that you kind of almost describing where Don Hantz was. I'm assuming you didn't buy it from Don, but yeah, you're kind of describing where he was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that exact.
Yeah, he might have been pretty close to Don.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 eyes.
He did.
Wait, show the other cards.
That's not a given though. So I did buy a Yankee card, but he was in a Red Sox jersey here. 84 Fleer update, which I've been targeting, and then I found this one. Look at the autograph on that thing.
It's great,
and it's in a Beckett slab.
Perfect. Aggressive. That autograph looks aggressive. He must have been on the juice when he signed that.
Sorry, Greg. Greg is in here somewhere.
That's a sweet card.
Greg admitted it on the podcast. He admitted it. He said probably. He probably, yeah, right.
I haven't.
Okay. Greg, we should definitely send people to the podcast by telling them that Greg thinks that OJ may have been innocent. Sports Card Clubhouse. So this is the last one I picked up from Matt from Providence.
It's a great card.
I was looking at that. I was actually looking at that card.
So
at Matt's
looking at it now.
I think this leaves just the less common Ted Williams cards that I need for my collection. And I think Matt from Providence has a sticker on the slab here. We're gonna find out live.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did on the one I bought.
I can't let this become a sports card clubhouse takeover. Not right now.
Oh,
maybe later.
Oh yeah.
Matt
from Providence.
I'm going to talk to Matt about that. He did it on one of the cards I bought from him too. I had to clean it off.
Might be a topic on the hit list this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. So Matt was good enough to, I spent quite a bit of time behind the table. I didn't actually buy anything from Matt this weekend, but I did sell him a card. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, it was great. I think that he enjoyed being in the foyer. He said on our last show that he was not a foyer guy, but I think that the weekend worked out really well for him.
Greg wants to come on to defend himself.
I know, that's what I was saying. Like if I do that, it's going to become a sports card clubhouse takeover. And
oh yeah,
listen, man, I'm not trying to start a turf war here, but we gotta keep some boundaries.
Who wants to come on?
Greg?
Greg?
Come on.
Greg didn't
go to Shriners. This is a Shriners show.
Like there's no.
Exactly.
Like
get him out of here.
He's too shy. He says
another time. Another time.
Yeah.
This is all about just kind of showing stuff off and talking about the show. I will say,
can I show a card?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. Let me switch. I mean, before you yell at me, let me switch you. Okay, there you go.
I'm never going to yell at you, Sam. This is the Fatima card of the Philadelphia Americans. That's the Philadelphia A's from. It's a 1913 issue. It's the 1912 team. Has 5 Hall of Famers in it. Has the $100,000 infield all together up on the top next to Connie Mack, Eddie Plank, and Chief Bender. And I got this card from Matt from Providence, and he put the price tag on the outside on the slab back. So that was good. And this is the last card I bought, and he worked with me on the price, and I just love it. I love these cards. You get so many different great players in them, and they're really just of the age. I just love these. And so really happy to have gotten this one. It's the last card I bought before I went and got Bernie Carbo's autograph.
Great.
I was there when you got that one. That was you were like you were kind of like laser eyeing that card. You're like, can I see that? And I knew right from that moment. I'm like, oh, Dan's buying that. Yeah. No doubt about it.
And Matt was like working with somebody else, and then he came over and talked to me and gave me a number. And then I Venmo'd him. I had no cash left, so I Venmo'd him. So that was that.
Yeah.
But Matt said during the show, he said he didn't mind being in the lobby because people came, looked at his tables, and then went inside, saw the prices, and came back to his table. So he was like,
it's pretty great.
He was like, killing it because his prices are good. And I agree with Mike. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but I agree with Mike.
I'm changing my opinion. It doesn't even matter what it is.
A lot of the guys are overpriced. Somebody in the comments, I think it might have been Alan, said that you can work with these guys, but yeah, if they're starting off too high, then there's no way to work. But if you look at the guys I bought from Ed Hands, I bought from Stan, and I'll show that card in a little bit. Bought a couple of times from Matt from Providence, bought from Paul Borges, and like one other guy that I knew kind of, but worked with me on prices. So I didn't buy from any of those guys who were overpriced. I just saw the prices and walked on. So
I think every dealer there was underpriced.
What was that?
Are you
changing your story?
He's changing his opinion.
Flip-flop.
Yeah, I have to be. Yeah, I got to agree. You know, I don't want to. You know, I'm not going to call it out, but a dealer that sets up at the National that has big inventory and big cards, whatever. There was one card that I was interested in that was a card that comps out around $2,000 that they had a sticker on about 3,600, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? It wasn't Don. Don said, this is kind of breaking news a little bit. Don said that this was the last year that he's going to set up at the National. He's retiring from the National, so he's giving up his table, but he will continue to do Shriners. But he just said he's at the point in his life where where it's no longer kind of he just doesn't want to do it anymore. So, but I wasn't talking about Don. It was somebody else. It was someone else. It was somebody who I did not buy from at the show. But I looked at it and I'm just like, okay. I just don't. I don't understand it. Like how I could go on a whole rant about this, and you guys, I've said it privately recently. It's like, can we at least have a conversation? Can you at least price your cards in a way that there's a conversation to be had? Because we all have the assets now. We all have the ability to look at what comparable sales are. Everybody that's a smart collector has that. So when you price your cards that high, you're counting on people not doing their homework or just having so much money that they don't care, and they're just gonna like. It blows me away. It blows me away.
There are some dealers, and I'm thinking of one in particular. Every time I see him, I just walk by him because I know that that's going to be the issue. And these guys are not set up for educated collectors. They're set up for suckers. And that's been a problem in the hobby for years. And if you put yourself in a position where you have the knowledge to be able to say this guy's way overpriced, you don't even have to look at them anymore. So the perfect example of the opposite of that was when I bought a card from Paul Borges, which I will show a little bit later. The two of us are chatting, we're just socializing, and then I see a card and we start talking about it, and we both pull out our phones, open up VCP, Card Ladder, we're looking at numbers, and we decide together how much I should pay for this card. It was like a cooperative kind of thing, and I was willing to pay the amount that we came up with because we had researched it together. And I can't say that you're going to do that with every I can't say you're going to do that with every dealer, and but like if you know the dealers well enough, you can deal with them. Some guys you can't, some guys you can. So Paul Borges is a successful dealer because he's a good guy and he's an honest guy. So that's
Paul fan.
Me, that's the best part of the
Paul's great. Paul. As I was leaving today, Paul told me about a big collection that he purchased that maybe will come up on the channel, our channel.
Orlando makes a good point here. Is that if it's a rare card with old comps, you can understand a high price. And and as a person that loves collecting super scarce stuff, that's tough to find. That's tough to really price. You're kind of defining what that price should be. However, at the same time, because it's so tough and so rare, it becomes a niche market. So the right buyer has to come by and buy that from you for that price. So it's a little bit of a gamble there. You're leaving it priced high, but hoping that you get that small percentage of people.
Yeah, but if the eye appeal in your copy is much better than any of the other copies that have sold, price it high. You should.
I think what Orlando is mentioning is he's not talking about like 59. And I'm going to use the 59 Gibson because you have that card. He's not talking about like a 59 Gibson that's really super centered versus one that's off centered. He's talking about a card that has like a pop of like 5 to 10 maybe overall. like a Stallmeyer, for example, is a good example. The Stallmeyer, maybe not 5 to 10, but Stallmeyer is a good example because you just don't see those cards that often. So people might price them higher for that reason. But I get your point, though, is that you have to kind of look at all the parameters.
By the way, can we just talk about Paul Borges for just a minute?
This is the card from Paul, by the way. Yeah,
that's a great looking card.
Yeah, it's one of those holes in my collection, and special card for a number of reasons. And I really kind of, feel like I got it from the right guy at the right place. And now I have Julius Erving. And speaking of which, this is a Hall of Fame basketball card.
Right.
Ray from Philly and Tony TJ's Online did their Hall of Fame thing. So shout out to them. This was one of those cards that made the Hall of Fame. Mine's
also in an SGC slab, Dan, and has the same exact centering as yours.
Okay.
Which is cool. Yeah. Yours is better, though, because yours has a 6 at the front of yours, and mine only has a 4 in the grade.
Okay. I know where you're going with this, but the IAPL thing we could talk about later, but yeah. All right.
Well, can I show a card? I haven't shown a card yet.
Please.
There it is.
This was from Legacy Cards. This was from specifically JB. He worked with me on the price on this. And I'm just thrilled to get a Playing Days Wagner before they became completely unavailable to me. And it's just been on my mind for a while. It's just like, if the right opportunity presents itself, I want to get a Playing Days Wagner. And, I love the throwing pose, but this will suffice. And I keep thinking to myself over the last couple of days, I'm like, did I do the right thing? Because this was, I paid a lot of money for this card. And I just kept asking myself, like, did I do the right thing? Like, did I do it? Like, was it the right thing? And then I keep looking at it. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah. No regrets whatsoever on this. So that was my big buy. That was on Friday. And like I said, I ended up with a lot more gifts than I got actual card buys over the weekend. But
so Mookie had a good question. Did we say anything at Shriners that surprised us?
Let me go back to that.
I have an answer to that.
Go for it.
Jake keeps shouting out Dom from Statement Sports Cards, who wasn't also a all-star this weekend. Loved hanging out with him, walking the floor with him. But Dom picked up a signed piece of the it was like a piece of the green, the monster, signed by Lou Brock. For some reason, I don't know why Lou Brock signed it, but it was a metal piece of the green monster signed by Lou Brock. And I thought that was the coolest thing. He said there was also a Jimmy Pearsall there, which I was thinking about going back and getting today, but I didn't make it to the show today. But shout out to Dom, and that was the thing that was the most surprising to me, that I thought was the coolest thing that I saw.
That fits Dom's, collecting preferences to a T. He loves stuff like that.
I saw, sitting at Matt's table, he was right next to Beckett, their table, and I saw a lot of people in line with like things to get authenticated, and I probably should have gone up and talked to the person that had this, but like there were a few people that had bats and hockey sticks and pucks and baseballs and things like that. But one guy today had goalie pads from somebody. Which I thought was cool. But actually, I just remember this. I mentioned in my video, Mike, you and I met somebody very interesting. We were at the table of Jeff Gross, who is a friend of mine who's been on my channel, who was the one who kind of facilitated the sale of those 1916 Morehouse Baking Babe Ruth cards last year at REA. There was a guy, like Abby and I were there, and you and Oliver, I think, were nearby. We just kind of happened to be there at the same time. And this guy, his name was Andrew, and he lives in Des Moines, Iowa. And he had a backpack that was like basically a museum in his backpack. He had 2 authenticated signed Shoeless Joe Jackson baseballs. He had a signed, some sort of an authenticated signed piece of paper from Ben Franklin. And I got to, and Sammy, I can't believe it's in my video, and I should have mentioned it to you yesterday. I got to hold a signed Christy Mathewson check. It was PSA DNA authenticated.
I have a picture of it. I'll
yeah,
put
it's
it
in my video.
Yeah.
And he also happened to have he had a bustier that belonged to Marilyn Monroe. I did not touch that, but that was Abby was right there, and I'm like, no, I'm just like.
He had 2 signed baseballs from Shoeless Joe Jackson, and you would think that we would want to spend more time with this guy, but he was very off-putting too.
Yes. We walked away, and Abby looks at me. She goes, "You got the ick from that guy, right?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So, he might be in the chat right now. I doubt it, but man, that was a very odd interaction.
We've got.
Wait, you sure? She was talking about Mike, though, wasn't Abby talking about Mike when she said?
Oh my God!
Well played, Dan. That was a good one.
That was a good.
So,
that was a good one.
A lot of people are asking this in
I
the
would
chat.
have said, God, come on, Greg, come on, you're making it weird.
So some people have brought this up in the chat. I haven't brought it up in topic yet, but people are asking, how does it compare to Strongsville? How does it compare to Philly? Listen, man, to me, a show is a show, but I mean, there are some differences. Obviously, there are dealers that attend the Philly show that don't go to Shriners. I mean, I would say Strongsville is kind of like the epicenter where everybody comes from. Like a lot of the big vintage dealers come. So, you know, to me, Strongsville is kind of like the place for vintage. But Shriners, yeah, you got a lot of dealers you don't see at the Philly show, which makes it special. So like Don Hans doesn't do the Philly show. Paul Board just started doing it recently, I think. But I don't know. What's your take on this, guys? I don't want to keep rambling.
I defer to Dan on the Strongsville question. I mean,
well, the Strongsville is better, I think, because Mike wasn't there. So, I mean, so seriously,
I'll be there next year.
All right, Sammy's mad at me now. He wants me.
No, I'm not mad. I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at Mike. I'm thinking, oh man, this is gonna.
This is nothing. This is nothing. I promise you.
Oh, I believe you.
Strongsville's bigger, right? It's a bigger show. It's there are more people from out of town. There's more people from around the country. Shriners is more regional. You're right that there are dealers at Shriners that you will not see at Strongsville, but also vice versa. You know, I missed Bill Chappell yesterday. You know, because he doesn't come up to Boston. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that Shriners has the potential to be kind of a mini Strongsville, and I felt that when we had our get together, our lunch. And you know, I should mention, it's Mark Hoyle mentioned this in the comments before. We had a really nice dinner on Friday night. Also, it was Ryan McClanahan, 2 guys from Love of the Game Auctions, Mark Hoyle, and myself put it together. It was at a place called Bun Ratty's in Reading, right on Main Street, and we had a great time. So you know, if more people come up Friday night, we could do a bigger dinner. And, you know, Saturday, I think, could grow. I mean, I feel like Shriners could be kind of a mini Strongsville in terms of, like, the people and the get-togethers and stuff. So I feel like Strongsville is just a bigger event. Card-wise, pretty similar, honestly.
Yeah, you know, just because not having been to Strongsville, I would, you know, compare it to White Plains or the Philly show. I thought of Philly show as kind of being, you know, another step up from Shriners in terms of just like the vintage dealers. Like you mentioned that Bill Chappell he's at Philly show, and there's a lot of, and then it's sort of, there's interchanges. There's other guys that set up at Philly that don't come to Shriners. There's guys that show up at Shriners that don't go to Philly. I think that in terms of like vintage, there's, you know, it's a vintage centered show. There's a good amount of modern, a little bit of TCG, but really not that much at Shriners.
Oh yeah, very little. I didn't
tables.
Yeah,
yeah.
But there is modern. But like they do a pretty good job of, like, it's kind of that if you walk in like the top right, I feel like, of the room, like closer to the back wall, that's kind of where the modern, like a lot of them sort of congregate. They're spread out a little bit more, but it's a vintage. I would compare it mostly to Philly. But again, I haven't been to Strongsville, so I don't, you know, I will.
Philly's got much more modern than Shriners does. And a lot of like the big autograph stuff. It's a much bigger autograph pavilion, and there's TCG, and it's just a bigger show. But in terms of vintage, I would say the vintage is pretty much the same. In terms of there are dealers that you can get in Shriners, like I said, that you wouldn't get in Philly or Strongsville. Whereas at Philly, you get some guys that come in that you won't get going up to Boston. Stan Locke was there, and I did get a card from him, which I will show if we get to that.
Yeah. Well, I'll show the one card, which
just hit 100 in chat, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, we just got to 100. That's awesome.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything from you, Sammy.
I'm just going to show the Maze card that I picked up. The one that
yes.
Yeah.
Love this piece.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. Howard had it at his table, and again, this is one of those things you really can't price because it's really tough to price because it's a contact print photo that was taken of Maze in his rookie season. The bicycle company is called Roll Fast. My understanding is that year, a lot of the New York teams, a lot of the players were doing these press photos for Roll Fast bicycle. I guess they must have been a sponsor for the three teams. And so Maze was one of the players that was documented, that was photographed. And so there's multiple photos, but this is the contact print. And it's just a cool item. I plan on getting it slabbed. I think I'll bring it to Philly with me, and I'll probably drop it off at PSA. Howard did give me he did get if for any reason PSA decides like, oh, we can't authenticate this, then Howard said he would take it back. But yeah, he gave me a good deal because I think he's done a lot of business through my videos. It sounds like he has. So yeah, I'm really pleased to have it. And I sold my Burke Ross Maze, and I sold my top 69 Super Maze, and making moves towards another big card coming up.
Nice.
So,
congrats, Sammy. So that was from 1951.
51, yeah.
Yeah. The fun fact: Dan was an intern for the Giants that year.
Oh man, I had no idea.
That one missed. That's a miss, Mike.
Well, that's why Dan recognized that it was the Polo Grounds immediately.
It is. I did.
There we go. There we go.
I think it's the Polo Grounds in the background. Howard has caught some strays in the chat here, but he talked every time I go talk to him. He's friendly, and he's done nice stuff for the community. He sponsored our trade nights and For Collectors trade nights, and he's a good guy. And yeah, sometimes his stuff is priced high, but sometimes he has amazing stuff. So
he does have really good stuff.
I'm a fan of Howard.
He has stuff you'll never see anywhere else, pretty much.
Yes. Well, I mean, for that niche collector that likes collecting stuff like this, and he, that's what he really enjoys. He enjoys finding stuff like that. So it was cool. He's generally, I think he's like one of those guys, him, Stan, Ash, they're the ones that are generally at all those major shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I can show. That's
right.
I can show.
That's better than your joke, Mike.
I can show another card.
Yeah, let me slip myself out of there and I'll put you in.
I got this is one I've been looking for a while, and another guy that sets up at a lot of different shows, Brian Deck. I got my with the tab, the 52 Red Man.
Is that your first one?
My first. I've owned cards from the set before, but I have never owned the TED. And I just was really happy. It was nice. He had a sticker. Again, like what Alan was saying before, guys will work with you. But Brian, this caught my eye, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And he had a sticker on it, and he had like a list that he referred to of like what kind of room he had on the card, and he said a number that was what I was going to offer. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I was really happy with this. It's a nice, and this is, like I said, it's a nice thing about Shriners is this is it's like a Boston card, and obviously I collect Boston guys, but it's not the type of thing that you see at a lot of the local shows. and like just the local shows. It's like it takes kind of the regional show for a card like that to show up. So was really happy with that one.
I was thinking about downgrading the one that I have. I have a 6. I have a maze and a 6, and I was trying to consider downgrading to a really good looking 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Williams looks awesome, man. That's.
Thanks, yeah.
Let me see it one more time. Let me I'm going to put you back here.
Yeah, and I was talking to Matt about this. Ted Williams 1952 only has a couple of cards because somebody came up to his table and was like, "Why doesn't Ted Williams have a card in the 52 top set?" And I mean, I don't know specifically the reason, but he also was in Korea at that point. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but basically, it's this and the Burke Ross. He like really doesn't have any other cards from 1952. He's not in the Bowman set. He's not in the top set, of course. But anyway, I love this one.
Who was Theo's asking like the biggest celebrity at Shriners?
Sammy Thunder.
Yeah, far from.
You. So as far as like outside of Boston, the biggest one was definitely Jim Palmer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But there were, I saw it. I was there today and walked through, and Jake Peavy was signing. I could hear him with his booming Alabama voice. The guy that is only played like 2 months with the Red Sox, but is absolutely beloved locally. And Bernie Carbo was there, obviously.
I'm going to show the Carbo.
Yeah, let's see that.
If you can.
Yeah, 1 sec. Let me switch you over.
There were a lot of good Bruins guys that signed too.
Bernie Carbo was there signing for free on Saturday and Sunday. I bought this photo on Friday night, and this is him hitting the home run in Game 6, bottom of the 8th inning, down 3 runs, and then he was giving away this thing right here, which is him hitting home plate on the same home run. So I thought it was a great combination. They're both signed. So Bernie looked great. He was talking to everybody. He was chatting with everybody, and I was happy to see him. I should say that I also got another signature of a Red Sox from that time frame. This was a gift from Alan, Billy Canigliaro on the 70 tops. And if you know my collection, this is one that I didn't have. So that was a major pickup for me from a friend. So thank you.
Yeah, and if we're talking about, this is a good opportunity to talk about, I think, not to single anybody out, but like, I think the most sentimental or like the gift that meant the most to me was from Brian Kane, who's in the comments. His father, and I apologize, Brian, I got this wrong, and you did correct me in the comments. He ran a business called Games Away Tours when he was a kid, and they were a travel agent in the Boston area. They would take fans on trips to see the local teams play from the 70s into the 2000s. And in 1983, they were doing a tour to Yankee Stadium to see the Red Sox play the Yankees. And Yaz, it was his last year, he accidentally got on the tour bus because they were staying at the team hotel. They were the team and the tour were staying at the same hotel. So Yaz accidentally got on the tour bus. He came off the bus. Brian was on that trip, and as Yaz was coming off the bus, Brian handed him a card and asked him to sign it. And so Brian is a Yankees fan. So but he's had this in his collection for 42 years, and he wanted me to have it. So this is a signed 83 Super Vets Yaz that was in Brian's collection for over 40 years, and now it's in my collection. So that's pretty awesome. I can't even put into words. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, that's a heck of a gift. Can I show one more gift?
Yeah, man. Bring your own.
This is from Mark Hoyle, Baseball Digest from 1971 with Bobby Mercer on the cover. So this is also another one of those ones where the gift is targeted for the right person, and it takes a lot of thought to actually get someone, get something that is perfect for someone. So I had a subscription to Baseball Digest. Bobby Mercer was my childhood hero, and Mark Hoyle bought this for me. And
is that his address listed there? You're blocking with your finger?
I don't know whose address that is. Mr. Jacobs lived in Sharon, Massachusetts. I don't even know where that is.
That's like kind of South Shore, I think.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Mark Hoyle gave me this.
Oh yeah, if we're doing Mark Hoyle gifts, I got a great one from him too. But yeah, that's awesome.
This matches the glass that he gave me last year that I have up on my top shelf, and this will go up on my top shelf with it.
He can give like a month worth of gifts and still have a crap ton of stuff in his house.
I'll show two things that I got from Mark. This was he gave me a 1980 Red Sox team schedule with Freddie Lynn on the cover, and I was looking at the back because it has like the ticket prices and stuff. In 1980 you could get into Fenway Park and sit in the upper bleachers for $2. You can't get anything for $2 at Fenway Park anymore. I had to pay $12 for a bottle of sunscreen earlier this year.
In the late 90s, I was sitting in the bleachers for $8 a ticket.
Oh,
that was only 27 years ago.
But here was the coup de grace from Mark. This is a lunch bag of Jim Lonborg.
I gotta show some.
This was from his time with the Phillies. It's got Tug McGraw on the back. But this was Mark. Thank you. And Mark gave me a bunch of other stuff too. But this is just so unique. It's got Tug McGraw on the back, and I told Mark my favorite Tug McGraw story, which was that they asked him about playing on AstroTurf and if he preferred it to real grass. And his answer was on AstroTurf. He said, "I don't know. I never smoked this out."
But this isn't a Mark Hoyle gift, but this was from Tom from Milford, who gives a lot of gifts as well. And it was Dom who brought it up to Shriners because I guess he was holding on to it for a while. Same lunch bag, but you have Seaver.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, the players. That's awesome.
Nice.
The dual Hall of Famer. That's great.
Pretty sweet.
Can you just highlight Greg's comment there? 2 down underneath one you've got highlighted there. Yeah, you're almost there. There it is. Yeah, thank you.
I love that you guys take jabs at each other. This is great.
I also got just one more shout out. There was a guy.
I love the straight face reaction from Mike as well on that too.
Jab via proxy.
Was it?
I texted Greg and said, "Say this."
There's a viewer of my channel named Casey who gave me this 88 Topps rack pack, and it's got Ellis Burks right there.
You're gonna
on the
rip
back.
It.
Boom.
88. That's his rookie.
Yeah.
Not really.
So there you go. That was a great one. I'll open that on the channel.
Oh man.
So many great gifts. I have so many more. Dom gave me some great gifts, and like Alan, Boston fan, gave me an awesome gift, and Bruce, Vintage Guy 71, gave me some great stuff, and then Ryan gave me that lineup today. That was great. So
I forgot to mention with the Bernie Carbo thing. That was 1975 World Series Game 6. Jake has done a great series on that game, and it's underwatched. If you go to Jake's channel,
Dan is correct.
That series. He did a great job in it, and that was fresh in my memory when I went to get the Carbo thing. So thank you for that information.
Thank you, Dan. I do really appreciate the shout out on that. It was fun to do, but not the type of thing that gets a lot of eyeballs on YouTube. But that's okay.
It's okay.
I'm a big fan of Dan. I mean, no, I'm not. I'm a big fan of Jake, and I also recommend his series. I'm also a big fan of carbo loading.
Yes,
but not
cold pasta. But not
cold
ketchup. Yeah, he's not a fan of that.
Dan's gonna go and clip me saying that by mistake. That I'm a big fan.
I don't even know how to clip, so
that'll be the next time you're on a Greg live stream. He'll clip that. That's
man, don't give Greg any ideas.
I don't know if we're going to be on a Greg live stream. He's now only doing it with one group.
Ouch!
So we're out.
Called out.
Wow.
Man, that will be clipped.
Yeah,
he said he likes that group best.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's three guys that I really like. You know, I don't blame him.
I prefer them too.
I prefer Mike Petty and Tony and Darren to me. I prefer them to all those guys.
So can I show the big card that I got?
Yes, you haven't shown the big one.
Yeah, one sec. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
So it is a 1911 George Close Candy. It's the red background. There's multiple colors of backgrounds. Unfortunately, none of the grading companies distinguish between the two of them, or not two of them. It's like 5 of them. This was from Stanlock, And I saw it, and I said to myself, it's a 1. Why is it a 1? Is the back completely shattered? But it's not. The back is almost completely intact. There's one little bit of, let me see where I can get it. Yeah, there it is. There's one little bit of stuff at the top there, but gets rid of some of the writing. But the writing is basically just, this is 25 players of baseball. So, and it's the color really struck me. And, you know, this is one of those high eye appeals that you get at a decent number. If this was Cobb, it would be 20,000, but I didn't spend 20,000. So really happy with this one. Tris Speaker, Red Sox, red background at the Shriners show. So
the kids would call that a color match.
Yeah, my big hit.
Kaboom.
Congrats, Dan. That is an awesome card. And it's not one that you see every day. Tough set. Very tough set.
Not my appeal, real appeal.
Man, it's appealing to anybody. If it's not appealing, if it doesn't appeal to them, I don't want to know them.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna kind of call it soon. Does anybody want to mention anything else before, you know, we go offline?
I appreciate you asking again, Sammy, because I know I've said no a couple times for live streams, and this one I was like, I'm going to do it.
Well,
I've always wanted to. But...
I appreciate you joining, man, and also I'm really aiming on trying to keep it under an hour because I know it gets really, really late, and also the daylight savings time doesn't help either. So because we're adjusting to it really being 10 o'clock and not 11.
Yeah, right. Appreciate the commenters. I appreciate Jake and Sammy. It's been great. I appreciate it. Yeah. Great commenters.
You didn't forget anybody.
I have to stress that Jake T. O'Donnell was the MVP of this weekend, and I really do feel like we owe him a big thanks. I could have done, and the card was good. We could have done without having to deal with Mike, but he just shows up. You get stuck with him.
I'm giving a lot of credit to Mike because he let me shoot some baskets on his dime, so appreciate that, Mike.
That whole $1, or $2, Sammy.
Have to get him back. Have to get him back. Dan, I really appreciate it. Like this, like I said, to me, this is my favorite. This is by far become my favorite weekend of the year, just from the standpoint that I don't have to travel. I mean, I'm so looking forward to Strongsville next year and looking forward to the National again next year. But this is so great because I don't have to. Literally, the show takes place 15 minutes from my house, and it's like everybody comes to me, and so that's what I love about it. It was our pleasure to put together the event. Hopefully next year, we can maybe figure out a way to this was something of a pilot, I guess I would say, for the get together to make sure that people actually wanted to come and that it was fun. And maybe next year we can kind of make it a little bit more formalized and a little bit bigger potentially, and we'll figure it out. But I'm glad that it was great. I'm glad everybody had a great time. And I actually literally, Abby, she dropped me off at the show today, so she went and did errands, and then she picked me up later. And we were driving home, and I was just like, I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, oh man, Shriners is over. Like, it's just kind of I was a little bit bummed out, but I was like, but she was like, well, it was a great time though. It's like, yeah, it was. So already looking forward to next year.
But Abby's favorite YouTube friend is obviously me, right?
Thank you, Jake.
I think I take credit because I talked to her about her favorite podcast.
Yes, we're going to be in New York, not next week, but the week after for a live podcast. So
about murder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So looking forward to that.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, you guys, for jumping on. Thanks, everybody in the chat. It was a good time. I think everybody had a really nice time kind of recapping with us. So
thanks, Sam.
Of course, guys. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. A good start to your week. I'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Love my hobby. Keep collecting baseball cards.
But hey, we want to keep the lights on here at Four Collectors Studios, so hit the like button for us, guys.
So thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time on Four Collectors.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Subscribe to the Four Collectors channel if you haven't done so yet, and see you soon.
All right, guys. Clemente Collector has said we hit a grand slam, so that makes me feel good.